I know a lot of people are struggling to learn handstands, especially if you are totally new to the art of being upside down, and I totally get why. Most beginner tutorials out there aren't even for beginners. No wonder people lose motivation when what is claimed to be the first step feels impossible. Now, my aim with this video is to do something about that. Anyone can learn to handstand. It just might take a little bit longer for someone, depending on your starting point. And you might have to swallow your pride for a few weeks or a few months to work on the absolute basics. And the absolute basics is not learning to balance, actually. The absolute basics is getting comfortable upside down. So how can we get comfortable upside down? Being comfortable is a state of mind indicating that you are in a safe environment. And you need to believe that you are in a safe environment when you're upside down. So this includes being comfortable falling, being comfortable just being upside down, and being comfortable strength-wise so you don't feel like your arms are collapsing beneath your head. And the key to conquering any kind of insecurities is exposure therapy. Stepwise introducing challenges to yourself until you don't feel as challenged. So this is what we will work on. But before that, please let me know in the comment section what your biggest struggles regarding the handstand is. I would be very interested to know. In my opinion, there are basically three parts to getting comfortable upside down when learning to handstands. The first one is learning to fall. And when learning to fall, the worst thing you can do is just build up courage to try and fall and see how it goes. Because that can go badly and that will not work in your way and it will just make you more insecure. So what is important is that we stepwise make a strategy to get skilled at falling, because falling is a skill. It's something you need to learn and it's something you need to automate over time. It's not something you suddenly do out of nothing. And people telling you otherwise are likely to not remember messing around with handstands when they were children, for example. Because a lot of people have some background with handstanding, messing around the beach or in their backyard as a kid, and may not even remember that. So if you're totally fresh to being upside down and starting with handstands, we need to build it up from the beginning. Now let's look at the easiest and safest way of falling. And this is what I like to refer as the wheel out fall. So basically, if you lose balance in a handstand, you lift up your hand, throw down your leg, and you sort of do a wheel out. It may look easy enough, but it's not something you just straight go for. Okay, we need to build it up stepwise. Now, starting in the easiest position possible, in sort of like a pike position, you can bend your knees even, just practicing the steps. So we pretend like we lose balance, we lift up our arms and throw our legs forward. Now, this might be too basic, obviously, but for some it can be beneficial just to dry practice like this. Now, as we get a bit more comfortable, we can move a little bit up the wall like this, and we try to do the same. So we lift up one arm and throw the leg in the ground. And we repeat until this feels totally easy, second nature, no problem whatsoever. And then we can try and move a bit further up the wall. And again, we lift up one arm and throw the same leg in the ground. And as we move further up, it looks more and more like the wheel out fall technique. Eventually moving all the way up to a slight inclined handstand position, doing the same. No problem. This is not scary. At first it might be, but the aim here is to make it not scary by exposing ourselves and teaching ourselves the technique and just getting a sense of being safe even though we're falling. Now we're still intentionally falling, and eventually we want to intentionally get ourselves out of balance when we're falling. So I kick sort of a little bit out from the wall and perform the same procedure. And that's basically it. We might have to practice this over and over and over again. It might feel a bit boring to some, but the great thing about this as well is that as you're practicing this for repetitions, you are also developing strength for the handstand position that is very relevant to getting comfortable upside down. And we also get exposed to being upside down while training to fall. One small variation here is that in the beginning you might just you don't want to think about too many things at the same time. So we focus on just lifting up the arm and throwing the leg in the ground. As we kick ourselves out of balance, our body will automatically rotate as we kick our leg to the ground, but we eventually may also want to give a little push or a little step when we're doing this, but this is optional. So instead of just throwing leg to the ground, we can, as we lose balance, also step one step forward. So, and it will be slightly more controlled, but both variations work. Now in the beginning you might also want to introduce some soft surfaces, go into your bedroom, get your bedroom mattress out on the floor just to sort of have a safety net if you feel you need it. If you don't feel it, that's totally fine too. Or you can practice in a gymnastic gym or a bouldering gym where they have thick mattresses and stuff like this. And eventually, once you get comfortable doing this semi-controlled falls from the wall, you can start throwing your legs up when into a freestanding handstand basically. But we're not focusing on the handstand here, we're basically just focusing on falling. So we just kick up, lose balance, and fall over. And just focus on getting comfortable, because this is not actual handstand balance practice. This will come at a later stage. First we need to get comfortable. To introduce some variation to your training and to get some extra fun into your training, you could also introduce cartwheel training, because cartwheels are very relevant, especially for getting comfortable upside down and for falling, because we just talked about the wheel out fall, which is named after the cartwheel. So the wheel can also be approached in a stepwise manner, which I will not get into in this tutorial, but do let me know in the comment section if you would like me to provide you with a more detailed tutorial on the cartwheel. The next step in getting comfortable upside down is getting strong enough. We need to be strong enough to hold the position so that we are not afraid of falling due to our muscles failing. And I just want to introduce a super simple drill here that will take care of business and is straightforward and auto-regulative in the manner that you just do as much as you can all the time, and you will automatically progress without needing to think too much about number of reps and stuff like this. So starting in a push-up position, we start walking up the wall, starting with one step, and the idea here is to step with hands and feet and go as far up the wall as we are comfortable with. And then we go down again. And then we do it over again, just as far as we are comfortable with. And we walk down again. And we do this until we are fatigued, until we feel like our muscles are burning and we can't do it anymore. And if we take a short break, do some stretching, do it another time and maybe 2 more times, so we have 3 sets or even 4 sets, that will be more than enough if you have 2 or 3 sessions a week. And obviously, as you get more comfortable, you walk further up the wall and you do more repetitions as you get stronger, and you keep going. You just go until failure, as we call it. So you do as many repetitions as you can every time you're doing it, and you're going as far up as you can every time you're doing it. So every session or every week, try and challenge yourself just a little bit and walk that extra couple of steps up towards the full wall supported handstand position. So the goal here is getting to this, and going up and down to develop strength and awareness in the upside down position. Now, the third part of getting comfortable upside down is developing awareness and learning how to control your limbs and your body when you're upside down. And the best way to do this is by learning how to headstand. Because in a headstand, we don't need to worry so much about the balance, and we don't actually need to use our hands in the same way to balance. It's more about creating a stable body than balancing, actually. So this is super relevant for creating that spinal awareness, getting to know how your hips are placed, and pelvis awareness, spinal awareness, legs, tightening your legs. All of that stuff is best introduced in a headstand position before learning how to do all of that stuff when you're already concentrating 100% on trying not to fall in a handstand. So for a headstand, I recommend starting with your head pretty close to the wall, creating a stable triangle with your hands and your head. And at first, just tuck your knees, walk your knees all the way into your chest until your feet sort of lift off the ground. Now, as you walk your knees into your chest, try and get your hips up. And this is where we start. Finding balance here. Now, it's important not to rush it here, because a lot of people, they just want to throw their legs up and they immediately get out of balance. So we really want to just keep it calm, keep it cool, just slightly get our toes off the ground and get comfortable here. And once we are comfortable in that position is when we move to the next step. So same procedure, but now we tuck our heels to our glutes. And from here, we can try and extend our hips a little bit. So first heels to glutes, extending hips so that we have more or less a 90-degree angle. And once we are comfortable here, we can slowly extend further so that our heels are above our hips. And then we can extend knees and hips to a straight position. Now we always have the wall here, so we don't need to be afraid of falling. And you might also want to place a pillow under your head because some people find that it hurts a little bit. And another important thing here is to place the head or the floor on top of the head. So you don't want to Like in a handstand, you're looking down, but you don't want to do this in a headstand because it will place a lot of tension on your neck. And in this headstand position, you can experiment with all sorts of shapes and just getting control of your lower body in an upside down position. So you can, once you're comfortable enough, you can do tuck ups, or you can try and straddle, or you can split legs, or you can experiment with hip placement and how that affects your body alignment. So that is how I would approach the headstand, and I definitely recommend using the headstand for what it's worth. And it's also pretty fun, and you don't need to feel that headstands are below you in any way. I would introduce headstands to anyone approaching the handstand, regardless if they are able to or strong enough to be in a handstand position, because the headstand is where we introduce the lower body shapes first and learn how to control our lower body and gain awareness, especially in our spine and pelvis. So now you basically have an absolute beginner's handstand workout that you can do and follow and start your handstand journey. Just follow these 3 steps in getting comfortable, and once you get comfortable is where the fun starts. Not that you can't have fun before that as well. Now, if you want a more specific program to follow with suggestions as of how many times a week, how many sets and repetitions, and all of the different progressions with video descriptions and form cues gathered in one place, you can go check out my app, which I will link in the description, where I have programs for absolute beginners to more advanced practitioners. So for handstands,